For the next 40 hours, I'm flying in the best 2 seats on the all-new world's #1 rated first class of 2024, coming at a crazy cheap price. So as we board the first flight, start the 40-hour timer, and let's find out what it's like to fly in the world's #1 rated first class.
How do you do, sir? Welcome aboard. My name is Syed, I'm the crew in charge. But the most important guy that you need to know is Desmond. You know why?
Why?
Because he serves the champagne.
Oh.
You have a good one.
Thank you so much. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first of 2 homes for the next 40 hours, which is the most exclusive first class on any airline, as out of the 264 passengers on board, there being only 4 first class suites, making the first class cabin feel enormous, with there also being no overhead bins, as there's plenty of storage space in front of you to put your bag, and with that enormous feel also being felt all around our suite, with the seat itself feeling more like a couch, with being able to fit at least 2 people, and also having a footrest, with right above that also having a massive TV that has an HDMI port, meaning you can stream or play any game console you'd like, to also having an incredible amount of storage space, with also having amenities in each one, with for example over here having fully noise cancelling headphones, to here a super luxurious amenity bag with products having a value of over $300, to over here having slippers, which I'm not gonna lie is my favorite amenity, as when I arrived on board I found I had a literal hole in my shoe. Like, how did this even happen? However, as we take off from the ground here in Melbourne, Australia, it's officially time to start this journey to Singapore and onwards all the way to Frankfurt, being over 10,000 miles. And the seat is cool, but what really excites me the most is the food, as we'll be having a total of 6 meals on these flights, as there's not 1 but 3 different menus of first the onboard menu, second the book the cook menu, which is a pre-ordered meal made by a chef, and third the specialty menu, which when combined there's 35 pages of different options, starting with the onboard menu for lunch, with our first course being the seared salmon and pickled calabri with edamame and wasabi puree, which was super delicious, but the second course really starts to show why this is the #1 rated first class.
I just want to make sure that it's perfect.
You guys are amazing.
Right,
Thank you so much. Like, not only is this a $350 portion of caviar, but the detail of Desmond spacing out each ingredient is just truly incredible to see in an airplane. But Singapore Airlines is truly known for their main courses, with us going with a steak ribeye, with on the side, wait for it, having truffle mac and cheese, which normally I would say this was my favorite plate of the meal. However, for our dessert course, we had a popcorn ice cream cheesecake that was absolutely unreal, but then after the cake course came the fruit and cheese courses, completing such an unbelievable meal. But anyway, we are just getting started. With being not even 10% of the way done with this journey, we haven't even discovered some of the coolest amenities offered on this plane. As you see all around this aircraft, there's things that on a normal airline you'd never think anything of, but in this plane those places are truly extravagant. Like, for example, right now we're in the bathroom, and typically airplane bathrooms look like this, but in here we have a leather seat, various free amenities, with some of them having crazy values attached to them. For example, this facial mist that's very good for moisturizing. But anyway, the reason that we're in here is outside of our suite, the crew is repairing the amenity that supposedly is the most popular thing Singapore Airlines offers, of a hotel quality bed in the sky. And holy crap, this thing is enormous. Having 2 pillows and a full-on duvet, but the coolest part is when you lie down, it feels like you're in your own little shell of a home, with having privacy walls all around your head. And as this is the #1 first class in the world, the bed, although being incredibly comfortable, we are not going to be sleeping 1 wink. As you see, Singapore Airlines has possibly the best entertainment out of any airline, making your own private movie theater in the sky. Now, in hour 5, we've watched a movie. We're finally exiting Australia, with seeing the last bit of its land, which for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to visit Australia. So seeing it in this way, it's an absolute dream come true. But anyway, now we have, in my opinion, the coolest amenity yet, where you're able to have your dinner served to you in your bed, making you almost have like a room service bed and breakfast, or in this case bed and dinner meal, with being a monster of a burger, and then just having cheese pouring out of everywhere, making an absolute perfection of a dinner. And after enjoying 2 more movies in our incredible airplane movie theater, we're landing. And normally I would be sad to be leaving this incredible cabin, however I'm literally the opposite of that. Let me explain. As you see, here in Singapore, we're changing to plane number 2, which is the new most luxurious seat Singapore Airlines has. And as we walk over to that flight now at, by the way, the world's best airport, I want to answer a question that I've been getting a lot lately of what's my best travel tip to save the most money and time possible while traveling. And the best way to answer that question is talking about the largest unexpected charge I've ever received, and also many travelers, like this guy who was charged $143,000. You see, the charges I'm talking about are roaming fees, which luckily one of my favorite travel hacks of Airalo solves this problem, as it's the world's first eSIM store having data packs from over 200 countries and regions, where in just 5 steps you can get your eSIM and connect to the internet, and all while keeping your original phone number. Meaning it's literally like a hack of a service, as it saves money but also time from looking for a SIM card, which having more time at the world's best airport was amazing, as I went to a pool, a free movie theater, this insane waterfall, and stayed at the coolest airport hotel, which had these robot helper guys. So thank you so much to Airalo for sponsoring, and click the link in the description to install Airalo today and use code LivingBobby3 to get $3 off your first eSIM. Anyway, we're arriving to our gate now, and it looks like we're starting to board flight number 2 in Singapore Airlines' new and improved first class. Hello. How are you? Holy crap. I've flown Singapore Airlines before, but every time I arrive into this cabin, it just takes my breath away. With this seat being on an entirely different level in every single way possible, from the size of this suite being 5 times the last, as the airplane itself is the world's largest passenger plane, having 2 full floors, making this space look like a frickin' mansion. With again having no overhead bins, having not only a space in front of you to store your things, but also a huge closet, making this feel more like a full-on hotel room. With the suite also being fully private, with there being this massive door, and the seat itself is not only super comfy, not only able to recline up and down, but also you can spin and move all around the room, as you can watch your TV here, or you can spin this way and watch your second TV, which moves in any direction as well. Or if you continue spinning, you have a full-on desk area, which this desk area also opens up to having a vanity mirror, and then right next to that you have a storage/amenities area, which just like everything else in this suite is upgraded, having the products and bag itself being over $100 more in value compared to the last, and in the rest of the amenities luckily having slippers again, because my shoe is it's kind of getting worse. And what's crazy is this is just half the room. The other half is transformed during bedtime. But first, as we take off from Singapore, headed all the way over to Frankfurt, Germany, it's officially time to try the second type of menu called Book the Cook. That's called the 2.0 of first class food, with being able to choose from a variety of dishes made by 5 world-class chefs' recipes, which as its brunch, our first course being the Eggs Benedict, which has to be the most luxurious egg dish I've ever seen, with having caviar on top. But the craziness of this menu is really seen in the second course, starting with our drinks, with us not having 1 glass of champagne, but 3, with the 3 bottles adding up to over $800. And with our champagne tasting being served with a second helping of caviar. But next, for course number 3, keeping up with that champagne tasting type food, we have the most expensive ham in the world of Iberico Spanish ham, with on the side a toasted baguette with tomato sauce, being so simple yet so delicious. But something that I love about Singapore Airlines is that every time you fly somewhere or come from somewhere, the cuisine is included in the menu itself. So in front of us for dessert, we have a German chocolate cake and a dessert wine from Germany. And of course the meal was absolutely delicious, but let me tell you, with over 10 hours left, we've literally just scratched the surface of the epicness of this plane and suite. Like as I said before, this is the world's largest passenger plane of the A380. And because of that, everything is supersized, with, for example, in here having the largest airplane bathroom on any aircraft that honestly looks more like a living room / lounge, with having a vanity desk area over here, then a chair to sit in over there that I guess is to admire the plants, a sink that feels more like a hotel's bathroom sink, and even an entire drawer of amenities, having things like facial mist. I'll never get used to that. But anyway, before going into this room, the cabin crew told me they were going to be transferring my room to the second half of the room, being the night version. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of our room of our bedroom being truly like no other bed you can find in an airplane, with obviously our seat being right here and then the pull-out bed here. Which honestly, just getting into this bed here, it feels trippy to know that we're in an airplane versus a hotel, because this is literally a real bed. Like, what is going on right now? And, you know, in our last seat, it was a nice little singular movie theater, whereas this one is a full-on theater set, with even adding to it the flight attendants coming by with a tray of movie snacks, having chips that I never even knew could exist, of a white truffle chip and a caviar chip. Like, eating caviar and truffle chips while watching a movie at 30,000 feet is just... it is so over the top. And after watching WALL-E and Oppenheimer, we're an hour 34 over these unbelievable mountains near Kabul, Afghanistan. It's time for the meal I was looking forward to most, of having the most expensive dish offered on any first class. With in front of us having lobster, being cut up fresh lobster mixed with cheese and then put back into its shell. Which, after that meal, I'm sure you guys are asking yourselves, how did I book this ticket for so cheap? And now these tickets can normally cost up to $30,000. But there's a few ways to get it for significantly cheaper. Like, for example, the way that we went about it was called the Chris Flyers Offers, where you first go to Singapore Airlines website and click the redeem button. And after selecting that, it shows you all the available flights off, being miles and points plus cash. So basically the formula is you find points somehow through either flying or getting a good credit card, and then you convert those points to miles, and boom, you live it up. And after a few more hours of just lounging around and watching these incredible views, we're starting our descent. And I don't want to leave, so this is what I'm thinking. On the airplane video that I did before this, I said if we got 5,000 comments, I'd do a week in first class. And well, we're about halfway there. So if we get 2,500 more comments, I'll do one full week in first class.